And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who come in late, we are now having a little cooking session right here on the scene, putting the pot on in here. And we like for you to join in with us and have a ball.
Hi, this is Dara, and I want to welcome you back to my video series on creating a web project area in Notion. In this one, I'm going to talk about meetings in retrospective. So last time I set up the team utilization table and the sprint ceremonies table to track the hours and utilization. So this time I'm going to do meetings and retrospectives. So I've created two just kind of generic templates. So you see this is the meeting template. It's pretty straightforward. And this is my retrospective template. Okay. So let's go ahead and create that table. All right. So I'm going to just copy this information, and I'm going to use this new feature of the templates. So this is a really exciting add that we had in the last update that's perfect for doing this kind of thing. So I can just create this template that I can use over and over again. So every time I create a meeting note, I don't have to create from scratch. I don't have to worry about my structure changing. I can just use, this template that I've created. And I'm going to take this template a step further because I'm not going to just call this my general meetings notes template. I'm actually going to make this particular one for leadership. So it means that each meeting I create, I can, customize this for that meeting, especially around the area of attendance. So for attendance, I could put the attendance as a property up here. I'm going to put it inline. Either way, I would be doing the same thing. If I did it up here, I would do it as a text field, which would allow me to link to the page of this, to the staff pages, but also allow me to add in anybody else who comes along that might not be in the staff. So for instance, if I did the client meeting, the client would not be in our staff table. But I'm going to do them here. And what I mean by linking to their page is that I'm just going to go ahead and do the @ symbol. And when I start typing the name of that person, well, in reality, I'm typing the name of the page, right? Because they're not in my system. So they're just in my staff table. So I'm pulling up this page, right? And what that allows me to do is if I want to go in and check out that person's page, I can do that from here just by clicking. Okay. So I might do something like, well, this is just going to be the leadership team. So let's put Leanna, let's put Sam. All right, so that means that every time I create this template, I've already got this in here. I don't have to remember who attends this meeting every time. I'm going to keep tags here, so if there's topics that come up that we talk about in this meeting, I could easily, we could easily tag what those topics are to help us find it. I'm going to change this to creation date. And an edit date. Oftentimes, we want to go back and make changes after a meeting because, whoever's taking notes, sometimes they miss stuff, and this way we can all agree on what was in here. Or if the action items are completed, we might be marking that off. All right. I guess I want to put this format. All right. Now you could also do something like put a linked version to your task table and put them directly in the task table. Of course, I have not created the task table yet, so I couldn't do that. And maybe it needs some evaluation before it's added to a task, because maybe it's not a sprint-based thing. So it depends on how the culture of your team and how your team works, whether you put these kind of action items in your, ticket system or not. All right, so that's that. I can, I'm going to delete these extra cells. So when you create a table in Notion, it automatically gives you 3 records. I also want to make this page full width. Okay. I'm going to create another new template. And let's do the client meeting. Actually, let's do this a different way. Let's delete this. I'm going to duplicate the leadership meeting. And then this way, all I have to do is add the client. All right. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the retrospective template. And for this one, I really am going to want to use this, feature of having the attendance in there, because it's the whole team. And so this way I don't have to each time write out everybody's names. And for this demo, I'm actually not going to do, you saw how I added them, so I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and finish setting up the rest of the page. So I had one of these in columns. And then I'm going to change this to a bullet as well. All right. So now when I create a new page, I can do it 2 ways. I can either say new and then choose the template that I want to use. Or if I came in from here and started my page, then I can still use these templates. So I can pick leadership and you see it fills in with all that information. So that's just a great simple shortcut for keeping track of our meetings. I'd probably do something where the table was automatically sorted by the creation date, just to make sure that my meetings are in order. But this is a great way to, keep track of all the meeting notes. And of course, if you did a meeting where you wanted to send a copy to the client, you can simply, export this as a PDF and then send that right on to your client. So for those of you who have, really strict rules in your workflows about, sharing, your note, taking notes and then sharing notes with clients, this is a great way to keep the notes in your system and then export to the client. Like don't do them in Word. Oh, it's terrible. If you do it in Word, then people have to come in here, they have to download it. I know that my current leadership, they do our notes in Word, even though we use Confluence, and they could be putting it in the page in Confluence. And it's just really, it's frankly irritating because they could be creating the same structure of the template that they're trying to create that they're using in Word. They could do it right in Confluence, or better yet, they could be using Notion and we can have it right here in Notion and export it that way. So, all right, so that's setting up meetings, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.